share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And we're at day 25. Day 25 of our 50-day program to supercharge your connection with God. I hope it's going well for you. We've nearly finished, well, we're halfway through, as I say, but we've nearly finished the third of our 6 constant mitzvahs, which is what we're going over. The 6 constant mitzvahs. A mitzvah is a commandment. One of the commandments from the Old Testament. We call it the Torah, with their 613 of them. These are 6 ones that are constant in that they build your worldview, right? These are fundamental ideas that build your worldview. And so therefore they are again, if you focus on them, if you talk about them, if you immerse yourself with them, they are constant, right? The things that you do literally constantly, and it makes, again, your connection with God that much better for doing them. So we're doing this in a period of this 50-day period that goes from Passover to the holiday of Shavuot, which is when God appeared at Mount Sinai and had the revelation and gave. Wow, did he give the Bible then? There are some there's some disagreement about what was actually given at the revelation at Sinai. I don't think I think they were given bits of the Bible up until the story where they were at that point. I don't think they were given any future information, right? That's my take on it. Anyway, I might be wrong. I wasn't there, in this life anyway, personally. But anyway, so that it's an incredibly spiritually powerful time, which is why we use it. And boy, I mean, listen, has the world gone crazy or not? I mean, we seem to be in battle lines are being drawn on a religious war. Either you're okay with baby killing or not, and if you're okay with it, you sort of hate anybody who advocates against that, like the church. Anybody, and man, it's got crazy. It's got absolutely crazy. But yeah, I expect things to get crazier over the next 25 days. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. Can you hit the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button? I'm telling you, I thought these were going to be 5-minute videos a day. These are like half-hour a day. It's killing me. Oh, thank God I'm halfway through. Thank God I'm halfway through, because boy, I was going to do something much shorter, which was going to go over the laws of speech. And do like a little bit of that every day, and it would have been much quicker, but I couldn't find the book. Right, so I found this one. Right, I guess we'll do this one. I'm glad we've done it because it's a good project, right? It's a good project. So anyway, we're up to Commandment 3. Commandment 1 was faith. We talked about having belief in God, even when it seems there is no God, right? You having believing God is always there. That's what faith is. We talked about idolatry, not having any other gods before God, which basically means don't assign power to anything other than God. Everything really comes from God. And then the next inference from that is God is one, which is what we're dealing with right now. There is nothing else other than God. Everything comes from God, right? There's no power other than God, and everything comes from God. Fine, so today's heading is no fear, right? No fear. So the middle blessing, the central daily prayer service is made up of several different things. One thing is called the Shemona Esrei. It's was originally 18 blessings, actually 19 blessings, which basically it covers everything in life possible, right? It's I'll go into it another time, but it's reasonably complex, right? So the middle blessing of these 8, again, we entered one in 19. There's a different one for Sabbath in the afternoon prayer. Plum, they're getting more specific. We say, you are one and your name is one. Echad or Shimcha Echad. What do we mean by that? You are one and your name is one. Omikamachi Israel. Who is like you? Who is like you, Israel? Talking about us. Would be nice to us. So Goy Echad Be'eretz. Who is like you, Israel? One nation in the land. I guess it's talking about us. So this blessing is a description of the end of days, okay, which I think, okay, so next Wednesday then, I suppose what they're talking about, when everyone will realize that God is one. So I have to say, it was one of my favorite parts of the High Holy Days of the Jewish New Year, is Jewish New Year and the Day of Atonement, a bunch of these days. We have a very special central prayer, Shemona Esrei, which it's a deep meditation on the unity of the Messianic age, right? Where everything, rocks and plants and people are all view put God as the center, and we all work together to the goal of doing what God wants. Then we will know God through only one name. We will know. We will no longer perceive different modes of control in the world. The Jews will be united, and if you know anything about Jewish politics, that's a crazy miracle in and of itself. Serving God in perfect harmony. The paragraph ends with a description of the frame of mind we will experience in those days. Mincha Shalom Shlava HaSheket, a time of total peace and complete tranquility, complete quiet and tranquility. When we fail to recognize the unity of purpose in the world, we are confused and downtrodden. We feel great one day because we feel that we are able to devote ourselves to to spiritual pursuits, and despondent the next day when we feel that we have not grown. Well, I guess if you're a good person, yeah, okay, fine, that's fair enough. If you've not grown. We constantly change our minds and our moods. We don't feel comfortable with ourselves. When this book was written before the expression "cis" was around, comfortable in your skin. When we will have absolute unity and purpose, we will feel peace, peace within ourselves. So it's talking about an external peace and an internal peace. I think that's why I would really like this. This sounds very nice to me. Okay, when you are firmly convinced of the unity and purpose. When you firmly believe that all challenges come from God and help us grow, what is there to fear? And that's actually true here, not even in a Messianic age. What is there to fear? God sends you only the challenges that are best for you and that you're capable of surmounting. I'm not sure. I mean, listen, there are many people who commit suicide, right? So, and many religious people who commit suicide. And many people who believe in God commit suicide. And so, were all of them? Did all of them have challenges that were surmountable? I find it hard to believe. I think people kill themselves, well, for a few reasons, but I think people kill themselves because they don't think there's any other option, right? So that wouldn't be not surmountable. The worst thing that can happen is that God will send you a message that you must take a different route to perfection. It might mean that you will have to endure difficulty. It might mean you've got to endure death, right? It might come with a certain amount of pain, but it'll be for your good, and you'll be capable of passing the test. I mean, I guess so. I just, this doesn't really resonate with me because again, I've known many people get broken, right? People get broken. So far we get a little story. The Jewish population, maybe it's going to say something different. It's got a little story that will explain this in a way that I understand. The Jewish population of Europe was going through a particularly difficult time in the late 1800s. Aside from the constant pogroms, exile, danger lurked from disease that ran rampant in the villages, striking down hundreds of people. One weekday morning, the Rebbe of a Hasidic community sent a message to townspeople that they should be in synagogue at 7 p.m. and he would address them there. I mean, okay, fine. What was the Rebbe going to talk about? What was the important message that he would share? That the streets were silent and everyone sat in synagogue. The Rebbe walked in, strode purposely to the lectern. He spoke purposely to the Aron Kodesh. Aron Kodesh is like the ornate cupboard in which we keep the Bible scroll in, the Old Testament scroll, we call it the Torah, and put his hands on one of these Old Testament scrolls called Sifrei Torah, and it says, "My dear Hasidim," I say, friends, Romans, countrymen, I beg of you, if there is ever a moment in your lives where you feel you're not being tested, that when you feel your life is not flowing, when you feel your life is flowing smoothly and seamlessly, stop whatever you're doing and run to synagogue. Open the ark of this cupboard. Place your head between the Bible scrolls and cry your heart out. Look, I'm going to tell you, if you do that in a local synagogue, they're going to think you're a weirdo. When you finish, raise up your eyes to the heavens and say, God, why did you decide to let my life be without challenge? Did you lose confidence in me? I mean, listen, I might just be a guy who really doesn't like challenges. That's fair. I really don't, right? I do them, but I don't like them. I'm doing it, but I'm not digging it, right? If that's a line from that movie, the Abyss, where it was actually very clever. Where they introduced like the liquid oxygen that what they breathe at the end. A guy has a pet mouse. He puts it in the liquid oxygen. So see, he's fine. He said, okay, he's doing it. He's not digging it. That's basically how I feel about challenges. To a person who has internalized the message that there is one God, challenges are an unfortunate fact of life, but a sign of God's trust and confidence in His ability to prevail. I mean, okay, that's certainly one way of looking at it. It's a good way of looking at it, but like oftentimes you are sent rough challenges. I mean, I'll give you an example, right, from the Old Testament. A lot of the times the Israelites were in the desert for the 40 years. Not a lot of times. Sometimes they were without water, and people would like cry to Moses, "Oh, we're going to die." I mean, they were legitimately about to die, right? I mean, like when you're starving, when you're starving, or you're dying of thirst, right? And your kids are dying of thirst. That's a bit of a challenge. Yes. A super elevated righteous person will be able to see through that challenge and say, this is just sent from God. I think it's probably easier when the challenges are more titanic, right? Like it's the Holocaust, you're being thrown into a gas chamber. Like at that point, it's like the huge challenges are easily. It's small challenges, like your business deal doesn't go your way, right? That's whatever things don't get. The small challenges and the frustrations, they're the harder ones to deal with, right? But that's the time when you got to keep saying God is one, right? Everything comes from God. So we talking about the Shema, this seminal prayer where we talk about God's oneness as a barometer. We raise some basic questions as we set out to learn about the oneness of God. We are now equipped with the knowledge necessary to answer those questions. First, we wonder why there would be a commandment to recite this prayer, the Shema, daily, twice daily, not once, twice. We say it in the morning and evening, right? If we must focus on it constantly. Really, I mean, okay, shouldn't be saying constantly? Not, I was going to say, it's doing it twice. I thought that was successful. No, it's saying, why isn't it constant? We have learned that when the oneness of God requires us to realize that we live for only one purpose, to attain spiritual perfection. Or I like to say it, to attain pleasure, right? That's what spiritual perfection is. So we will be able to take the eternal pleasure from God. We also learn that we have a coach, the evil inclination, the Satan, trying to help us grow by presenting us with illusionary challenges that we must overcome. Those illusionary challenges are often quite real. All right, the two parts of this commandment: reciting in the morning and the evening. That's when you say this prayer, the Shema, and constant aspects address these 2 points. Okay, let's see how. With so much distraction in the busy world around us, we can easily lose sight of our goal. We can spend our lives in the pursuit of pettiness and forget about the gold mine that God has made available to us. When we recite this prayer, the Shema, when we say God is one, in the morning and the evening, we start and end our day by reminding ourselves that we live we live only to take eternal pleasure from God, and that we can receive that pleasure only if we direct all our actions towards that purpose. Okay. We remind ourselves that anything else we may be pursuing is meaningless, temporary, and superficial, unless you're pursuing it for the pursuit of the oneness of God, right? If you're saying, I want to go and see this movie so I can like rest and I can recharge myself so I can serve God, then then it's not meaningless and temporary and superficial. So it gives us another story. A poor man once approached a wealthy member of his community and begged him for a job. He said, "My wife and children are starving." He said, "If I don't start earning money soon, they might die." That's pretty. You want to get a job ASAP at that point. The rich man thought for a few minutes, and and out of pity, he decided to hire the man as his personal assistant. Well, that's a stupid idea. Why not hire the man not like right next to you, right? Several months later, okay, this worked out for a few months. The wealthy man had to travel away from home for a few days. He called his assistants and handed him a paper with the step-by-step instructions on how to handle his home and business while he was away. Read the instructions each morning so you know and not forget what to do, he said, as he got into his wagon. I said this is an olden days story. Several days later, the man came home, and some of this is, "Did you follow my orders?" He said, "Certainly. Each morning I came to your home, I sat down on the couch and read the paper with your instructions from beginning to end. When I finished, I read it again and again until it was time to go home." "Fool," said the wealthy man. "Did you think that I wanted you to read the paper for your leisure? I wanted you to follow the instructions, not just read them." Okay, fine. So the rabbi called the Chavetz Chaim offered the story as a parable for our journey here on earth. God sends us into this world on a mission and provides us with instructions. He commands us to read a summary of those instructions twice daily to remind ourselves what the reason that we are here for a reason. Unfortunate are those who read this prayer, the Shema, and simply to fulfill the commandment of reciting it without giving a moment's notice or moment's notice to the instructions given there within. Yeah, listen, it's one thing. I mean, we have a lot of formalized prayer in Judaism, right? So one thing to actually just to say the prayer, right? You should think about it too, which is you would have thought that would be quite an obvious step, right? That would be like, well, obviously that we're going to do that. I mean, if we're saying it, but people don't, and it's really incredible. People really genuinely do not. It's so strange, right? It really is so strange. Like being religious is a big commitment, right? It's a big time commitment, financial commitment to do like lots of things, and I've seen people over and over and over again be religious and then completely miss the point of being religious, right? Completely I go and say these prayers 3 times a day, in my synagogue. I do all of those things. But then, I just go ahead and break those commandments. And you don't break them in a big way. You don't go off and you murder a baby. But no, you go off and you speak badly about people, right? Which is like a central thing. We do things that we just don't realize. And honestly, I would have thought having it written down in some kind of form like the Bible, people would go like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to do that." No, what we really need, which is why we all yearn for a messianic age. What we really need is a leader and a teacher to instill this stuff within us, right? To like reiterate over and over and over again. The point of this is to do it, not to say it, right? The point is to do it, not to say it. So the recitation of this prayer, Shema, can serve as a barometer. 2 times a day, when you can pinpoint the specific challenges that the Satan here is imposing on you that day. Before reciting the prayer, think about the areas in your life in which your belief in the oneness of God is being challenged. Now, I might do this tomorrow. I might do this in a day, a week or so from now. But the reason I'm reading this now, which I know I should do this, it's a good thing to do, is just put it in my headspace, right? Put it in my headspace. I might get my head in that realm. Where are we? Before writing it, so identify the situations in which you don't see the Satan as a coach or as an illusion, but a real force to be reckoned with. Once you locate those issues in your life, at that point you recite the prayer, focusing on the oneness of God. Right? Now, I guess if you're not Jewish, right? If you are having these challenges, it's probably a good idea to do this twice a day. Take 2-3 minutes a day, think about where you're challenged, where you don't see the oneness of God, and then say out loudly that God is one. God, the only thing is God. It all comes from God, right? And saying it makes a difference to thinking it. Saying it. This is why one of the reasons I'm doing these videos, right? Saying it makes a difference. So the oneness of God is also a constant commandment. However, it is not enough to think about it twice a day. One, you got to be on guard for it all the time. But I think if you say it out twice a day, it does keep it on your head constantly. Whenever you feel the force from within that is trying to get you to do something that you know is wrong, remember that it is an illusion. Remember that it is not telling you to sin. It is telling you to let's see you overcome this difficult challenge that I have created for you. Like every time you think, there's no way I can get over this. This is impossible. This is too much. No, you've got to remember. No, this is here. This is designed for you to be good. And if you don't think you can do it, then think again. Fine. And remember that it is not for some external force, but from God himself, who wants you to attain perfection so that you can deserve to bask in his presence eternally. Finally, we ask, what does the oneness of God add to our repertoire once we've mastered the commandments of faith and not having other gods? When we talked about faith, we learned about that God is present and that he created the world for a purpose. In not having other gods, we learned that no other force or any other power no other forces have any power of their own. Now we can take these commandments to a higher plane by recognizing there is no to our plane, recognize there is no external forces, right? There is no spoon, right? Everything was created by God to enable us to take part in his divine and unfulfilled purpose. Fine. So I think we kind of wrapping up the oneness of God. We're going to do a review on it tomorrow before we move on to the next of the 6 constant mitzvahs, which will be, tomorrow's Thursday. So Friday we're starting number 4. Number 4 is loving God. Oh yeah. Building up a love of God. That's going to be a fun one we're going to focus on all next week. Join me as we keep going through this. We're halfway through. We are halfway through. Whoa, we're halfway there. What's that? Living on a prayer? I can't remember. But yeah, we're halfway through. Let's see what the next half brings. I'm in a different place now than I was 25 days ago. I'm intrigued to see where I'm going to be 25 days from now. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.